Now, one without notice here, Terry. The World Club Challenge. I've seen a few people come out today and say, do we really need it? What are your thoughts? Because I have mine.
I think we do need it. I think it's fun, right? Because it's not like, there's different variations of this in football, where you've got the European Championship and then you've got, the Club World Cup, because, the Super Cups play against each other, and then the South American teams and the Asian Cup final teams go into this, competition. And that actually is, to find out who the best of the best is, right? And basketball used to do it back in the day. You used to have the European champions, the Asian champions, the NBL champions, and the NBA champions. The NBA teams used to flog everyone. So I think the last Australian team to do any good was the 2000 Perth Wildcats. They cut that really, really quickly. I do like this because it gives you another game of footy, and it's North versus South, it's England versus Australia, or if the Wars ever get there, Super League versus NRL. I just don't like the timing of it. The timing of it happens in February. The Super League is in round 2 or round 3 of its competition now. So we're going to have gone through a pre-season. We're going to have gone through their trial games. We're going to have gone through round 1 in their Super League competition. They play Penrith, and they're actually ready. Whereas Penrith went over to England 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they've been hanging out with Manchester City, and they've gone to a Liverpool game, and they went and saw Manchester United play a couple of days beforehand. That's probably why they lost. And they did the tour of London, and they went to Buckingham Palace. And you're seeing all these photos, and at the same time you're seeing the photos of the Panthers out doing all the cool stuff in England, the Warriors are playing a game. Mm-hmm. So I am of the belief, and you and I said it the other day, that you play the Super League Grand Final happens the weekend before the NRL Grand Final. The NRL Grand Final happens the first weekend of October. 2 weeks later, this game should be played.
I agree. It's but it's a novelty. Of course, it's fun to win, and when, as a Wigan fan, I'm glad they won a fifth, which is a record, I do believe. It's fantastic. It's good fun to have a brag, and of course, you get the old rivalry. If it had been anyone other than Wigan or Penrith, to be fair, if it was, say, a team like maybe the Titans or one of those more likeable teams that played St Helens, or one of the more dislikable teams across there, of course, you're supporting the Aussie boys. But when it comes down to it, it's just a novelty. And a lot of people are using the fact that Penrith have lost a few in a row now to say, you ain't that good. No one's going to remember this in 12 months' time, because they're probably going to play another one. I 100% agree that if you're going to treat this with any degree of respect, you have to frame it like the Super Bowl. Now, that will never happen, nor should it, because the Super Bowl is the biggest event in the world outside the Soccer World Cup final. You got to get the best of the best, put them 2 weeks later when the teams are fit, fully firing, and together, because both teams ran out sides that weren't totally what they were last year in Grand Final. We saw when Cronulla went over in 2017, we were missing half our squad. So it's a novelty game. It's fun. It's good bragging rights. And like you said, it's a game to wake up too early when it's in England, or stay up late and watch in Australia. I want it to stay. I would love to see it played at the end of the season, but not for 1 second should anyone outside Wigan fans take it seriously. And Penrith fans, I wouldn't be too worried.
Yeah, Penrith lost the World Club Challenge last year. They were fine. They're going to be fine again this year. They were without Jerome Luai and a host of other players as well. And Dylan Edwards left his hair at home, so they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. But although it is a trial game and it should be treated as a trial game, I don't think it should be played at the time that it is played, because I do think the Super League teams do get an unfair advantage in the fact that they're in their season, they've done their pre-season, everything, and our teams go, well, the NRL teams go over there, as I said, and they go travelling around to all the big football games and events that happen. Play it 2 weeks after the grand finals are done. Get it over and done with.